All right, we're live with Reloading Weatherby. It's in a late night fitness chat. This is just informal. My lighting's not on. My headphones are only on because I couldn't hear him with my microphone set up. I thought it was all cool, and then I couldn't hear you because it plugged into my phone where the headphone jack plugs in. So it was assuming it was an audio device. Gonna get some of this imperial sizing wax all over these 10mm casings. Hopefully, some people will start showing up. Usually takes a few minutes. There's G23 right before bed. What's up, G23? I'm just hand loading something better than that. Thumbs up, appreciate it. One person's watching, that's good. 2 people in the chat, 1 person watching, good. So I'm gonna that. How do you clean your primer pockets?
I have a tool, a lineman tool.
Okay. I just take an old screwdriver and just around it.
Yeah.
Works.
Here, I'll show you what I have. Oh. Brutal Bob's on.
What's up, Brutal Bob? What's up, Ed or ED? Been a while. Don't know you're here if you don't say something, so make sure you say something.
Hi, Luminous Dave.
What's up, Luminous Dave? You know what I hate is when you come to a 10mm shell and it's got a small primer in it instead of a large. Which is okay. My question is, should I put small primer Magnum in it, or should I put, what should I do? You know?
I don't know. Hold on, guys. Something here.
Oh yeah, you're roboting pretty good too. I can't see it. Your hand's in the way. Okay. It looks a lot like the primer pocket reamer. Oh. 45 AARP has the same problem. That's true. 6.5 Needmore has the same problem. Like if I've got some 6.5 Needmore brass that it's all small rifle primers. Some of the match shooters prefer that, actually.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, what content do you have coming up here, Chuck?
I still got to edit the video, but I've got ELDX versus Terminal Ascent. I'm thinking about, what's up, Flying Rich? Thinking about going to the did you crash again, Rich? Flying Rich Firearms. Thoughts on the Ruger and Magpul Glock clone? I've held a few in my hand. It looks quality. Chook shot his today. He hadn't told me anything about it. So, no new crashes. Thank you. Thank you, Flying Rich. Remember, you're supposed to get some bush wheels on that plane and fly me out somewhere. That was our deal. Which would probably cost me more than actually hiring a bush pilot out here. So, it's like $6,000 or $7,000 just to get dropped off by a bush pilot now.
Wow.
They want $3,000 to take me upriver where I went and hiked in 2 years ago before my back started effing up, and floated down where I hunted for caribou, and my buddy was naked chasing them around. Told you that story, didn't I? So
yeah.
So
Flying Rich does need to become a bush pilot.
Yeah, if you want to make money at flying, you can rob people blind up here, buddy. I'll advertise for you. Give me about 6 free trips in the moose and caribou country. I'll advertise for you for life, man, for free. There you go. Anyway, what
Well, I
kind of
went to the
content?
range.
Okay, go ahead.
Went to the range today and shot my dad's 6.5 PRC. So I've got a video coming tomorrow. Video coming out tomorrow with the results.
Cool.
It shot pretty well.
That's good. These small primer cases don't come out as easily as the. Sometimes let's put it in there. Hello from Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia. 35 Whelen for the win. You know, Paul, everybody says that loves 35 Whelen. It has a cult following. There is one factory gun you can get right now, and that's the CVA break action. Like, it's the only one. Like, if it were so great, it would be that. And my local Sportsman's Warehouse is selling the Remington Core-Lock ammo for $80. And I'm like,
Oh,
yeah. Somebody sent me a bunch of Barnes TTSX bullets from it. Said, you'll get one eventually. I'm like, thanks. One of the good friends of the channel that sends me stuff. I'm like, thanks. I'm like, no, I won't. If that CVA goes on,
I would love to get one if they had them in bolt action rifles.
yeah. I mean they do, but like you're gonna have to have it custom made now.
Yeah.
So, all right. Hey Chuck, any experience with 8.6? Not yet. Not yet. Do you want the ARC or the Blackout? The 8.6 Blackout's actually an AR-10 thing, and the 8.6 ARC is the AR-15 thing. Which I think was a good. I think that was like I think the 8.6 Blackout just got killed by the 8.6 ARC. I think that's going to happen, and the reason being is okay. It's a pistol powder. There isn't that much powder in there to keep the gun subsonic. So the only advantage to the 8.6 Blackout would be supersonics, but the twist rate is so heavy with those bullets at 1 and 3 inches, 1 and 4, 1 and 3.5 that you can't. That you can't shoot anything but like all coppers. Like, so there's a lot of people complaining they can't shoot a lot of stuff. And I'm just gonna say, you know, maybe maybe 8.6 Blackout isn't all it's cracked up to be. But I mean, it's kind of nice to have a 300 grain bullet when you shoot subsonics. You know.
Hey Miller.
Hey Miller. Good to see you here. Welcome. We go live together quite not as much as we used to, but ammo is $2.5 around. Yep. All right, Luminous Dave. What's a good 308 7.62 NATO semi-auto that isn't AR-10 pattern? M1A Springfield. That's what I get. If I wasn't going to get an AR-10, I'd get Springfield M1A. I've got a little bit of experience in it. Some videos featuring my cameraman has one. Several videos that he's got in it. So there's that. Set me? Nope, the set me's are no good. Like the G3s, they ruin the brass because it's a blowback around the cartridge design. You get all that crap. You just kill the brass and like the set me in the G3s. Austin, when are you getting an AR-10?
I don't know.
The deals are sweet right now. You can get like 40% off at like Ballistic Advantage. Probably just got the
I hear they're a lot cheaper than they used to be.
yeah, AR-10s. Yeah, for a decent one, yeah, they're a lot better. You can build them pretty cheap. I think my upper was 400. My bolt carrier group was about 250. Charging handle like 30-40 bucks, and then my lower was around, which I pieced together, which lower with all the stock and stuff was probably around 300 eventually with all the parts and everything to go inside of it. So like I pieced together a pretty nice one for that. And you know, my 6.5 Creedmoor was a little bit more expensive. I think I spent like I literally put all the pieces instead of oh, I got you. Okay. Cool. What's up, Doghouse Outdoors? Good to see you. Yeah. pretty cheap. So, I mean, you can get PSA for like $700, and they work, they run. Just a lot of people have trouble getting it better than an inch. So I like it. I am satisfied. I got a 1:6 LPVO on mine, so I'm satisfied with an inch group. Like mine's a crap hits the fan thing. So
Yeah.
that's what's up. That isn't in there enough. Like, why is this thing not punching primers out? The spindle rod wasn't down far enough. Like, I've had a bunch of them just get stuck on the thing. This is like the first time I've done anything with reloading in a few months. Well, that just made it worse. That's
I feel like I reload like 3 times a week. But I also get to go to the range probably about once a week.
Sorry, guys. What you been reloading lately?
7 WSM.
Austin, can you hear me?
Yeah, 7 WSM.
You're muted or something?
No, don't think so.
I can't hear you.
Can the guys in the chat hear me?
There we go.
Can you hear me now?
I have noticed with these Hornady dies, if you don't have that spindle in there really tightened, it will back out on you.
I learned that the hard way.
Here, 5x5, 5x5. You can hear me? Can you hear Austin?
Yeah, they're saying they can hear me.
I can't hear. I cannot hear Austin. What's wrong? Did this come out? I need a new camera set up for this chat. What are you gonna? We're just gonna take that off. What about now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Now I can hear you too. There we go. That's good. All right. Cool. I don't know what switched off there. So.
Millard, answering your question, I think it's for big 270 Winchester fans. It's nice. I don't think it's really necessary. Mostly because if you're going to shoot heavier bullets, get a 30-06 or like a 280 Ackley improved. What do you think, Chuck?
I concur. Like, even if you're shooting lighter bullets, a 30-06 is going to send them faster. So.
Yeah, but if you're a big 270 fan, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you know what they say, 30-06 is like 270 for women. You know, no big deal. No, 270 is like 30-06 for women, right?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I think you got that mixed up.
Yeah, I totally screwed that one up. Sorry, guys. I haven't botched that delivery.
Why is everyone spamming 5x5?
Oh, that means they can hear you.
Oh.
I have my custom built grid cards. Yeah. Ammo, 2.56 rounds. Set me. Thoughts on the 40 Super? 40 Super is awesome. It's the most accurate handgun I've ever shot was a STI 1911 and 40 Super. Like, just sitting there, it's like same freaking hole at 7 yards, 10 yards, 15 yards. And it's just starting to get one ragged hole at about 25 yards. So there's that. But yeah, I love 40 Super. Making sour bread, dough bread, gluten free. You might like it. Cool. You and my wife, check out Courtney's Alaskan Adventures. She has a little channel where she posts some stuff once in a while, and go check out my wife's channel and let her know.
Brutal Bob.
Because she's been trying the same thing. can hear 5x5. Debating a 20 or 22-inch barrel, 300 Winchester Magnum. I can hear him. Why would you do either of those? You're just neutering it and cutting it off. You might as well get 30-06.
That would be one big fireball coming out of a 20-inch barrel.
Yeah. 300 Magnums are 24-inch barrel minimums. Getting a 20-inch barrel is like it's like getting a 1.5-inch barrel, 1 3/4-inch snub nose revolver. All you're doing is pissing somebody off, usually yourself with the fireball.
Do you think the 277 Fury will end up being a decent hunting round? I don't know. Are civilians going to have access to the?
Yes, we already do. I had some. I didn't put the link out, but I got like the ammo's expensive. Like I think I got a link from Blackhawk or Battle Armory today. It was like $960 for 450 rounds of Full Metal Jacket or soft point or something. I don't remember. But yeah,
and it was the high pressure runs.
No, pretty sure it was not the high pressure ones. So
yeah, I'm wondering if civilians will have access to the high pressure cases.
I know somebody who's like gotten access to. There's been a couple of YouTubers who've gotten access to it because of what they do. But yeah, in general, yeah, you're not going to get access to it. And I'm going to be honest with you. 80,000 PSI surviving combat. I mean, yeah, that's a lot on a semi-automatic weapon. So cool. Hope she put camping food together. I put my own camping food together. 280 AI is a nice touch. It definitely is. What's up, Gunmetal Guy USA? Yeah. Farm Boy, do you have a 277 Sig Fury? Because I'll drive to Delta Junction and shoot it with you. I don't care if it is -30 right now.
I shot one at SHOT Show last year.
Okay.
But it was not the high pressure one. It was just normal ammo.
Yep.
Kicked more than I thought it would in an AR.
Really? It's a pretty heavy AR too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the lower pressure stuff is still running like 68,000 PSI, something like that. 68 to 71, something like that. That's the lower pressure stuff. Maybe 65 at the lowest. So when you're talking about that kind of PSI, I'm going to tell you, my AR-10's mid-weight, a little on the heavy side maybe. And if I shoot 130 grains with the tack powder out of it at like 3,100 feet per second, it doesn't do a darn thing. So it doesn't kick at all. So could be the gas system.
Yeah. Speaking of like really short barrels, Chuck, I PSA did an event in Utah, and I got to go to the range and test out their new guns, and I got to shoot a really short barreled 308 AR-10, and that thing was not very enjoyable to shoot.
No, I would imagine not.
Even in 308.
Yeah, I just bought a pencil duty barrel. It's a much lighter weight barrel, and I'm going to pull the 22-250 barrel and put that 16-inch pencil barrel in for 308. So there's that. I'm kind of going to do maybe a 22-250 video or something like that first, and then I filmed some stuff with one, and it didn't. I think I lost the footage transferring it between stuff. So there's that.
Hey, Chuck, I'm pretty tired. I need to get up early tomorrow, so I'm going to head to bed.
All right, man. I understand. So.
Okay. I'll talk to you later, and we'll see you on another chat.
All right. See you then, brother. See you at SHOT Show, maybe.
We'll see you.
All right. What's up, everybody? Thanks, Reloading Weatherby, for spending 20 minutes with us. We appreciate that. It's lowly peons now that your channel's gotten big. Good job. Bimetal, super speeds. What's up, Washington Reloader? Is it the high pressure bimetal case? Yes, it is. No, I don't. I'd love to get one, though. Yeah, I'd rather have one in 308. Going to be a barrel burner. Yeah, maybe. Crazy they're replacing the M4 with that. No, it's not. The M4 is a great rifle. Don't get me wrong. But the M4 just lacks the power to do anything. Like, what's Courtney channel? Courtney's Alaskan Adventures. Courtney spelled with a K. Exactly like you spelled it, but with a K instead of a C. I recommend a chamber brush for a bolt action. Absolutely. How do you choose an ideal power when reloading? Reloading. Well, these days it's a bit different. You go to the shop and see what they actually have in stock, and then you look at your phone and you manual, see what you got. But to be honest with you, you research and see what tends to be an accurate load, what tends to be accurate powders, and you do that, and we'll get you get kind of some data from that, and then you just experiment with it. I like to get the stuff that'll get me the best velocity for the lowest pressures. So if you got a manual that shows you some pressures, that's good too. Midway USA, man. Brownells, any place like that. Chamber brush. What do I think of the Sig X10? It wouldn't feed my hand loads that the Glock would feed. So I was kind of mad about that. And I had one other thing. Oh, the extended slide release or slide stop rides into my grip in my hand. I don't like having to adjust my grip. But I mean, other than that, it was a great gun. I mean, I've got a Farm Boy 907. I got a full video on what happened. You can see everything that happened there. So kind of is what it is. Like I would have to get that slide stop milled down a little bit. Had the same issue with my Sig 239. Sig X10 is not a bad gun. Not whatsoever. Did you shoot any big game over 300 yards with copper bullets? What's the performance? Yeah, I shot a cow caribou at 459. My wife shot one at 340. Both with 139 grain Barnes LRX, and LRX is great. I've also shot a cow caribou at 288, which is close. Dropped her right there, like it's been one shot. That was with the 6.5 Creedmoor, even. So, what is up, Clovertack? Thank you for the gift. You didn't have to do all that, man. I appreciate you. Yep. If you haven't subscribed to Clovertack's channel and you're making poor life choices, then you need to go subscribe. So, have a Merry Christmas, Clovertack. I'll see you in Vegas, I hope. So, thinking about getting a 10mm to upgrade from my 357. Yeah, there you go. You too, John P. God bless. Merry Christmas. Getting my I wouldn't call it an upgrade. I would just call it something different. LRX or TTSX. I've only shot game with the LRX. I have not shot game with the TTSX. The LRX is all you need. Yep. Merry Christmas, Clovertack. So, y'all don't know, Clovertack is a great channel. He helps people out all the time in YouTube business. So, like, he's just a great resource and a great person. So, if you don't go subscribe to his channel, You probably should. So, forget what I can use gun grease on. It's a Lucas Oil brand. I use gun grease on the trigger, but I don't use gun grease on anything else. Like on the hammer where the sear meets the trigger. Like, that's that. Cool. Would you consider an ELDX or ELDM for hunting, considering a 16-inch barrel 308? Depends on what I was hunting. No, but let me say that I am I'm editing a terminal scent versus 6.5 Creedmoor video, and let me say that the terminal scent ELDX versus 6.5 Creedmoor. And let me say that the 6.5 Creedmoor in ballistic gel performed a lot better than I thought it would. In fact, I have it right here. So it actually stayed together this time for the first time. So kind of interesting. And that was out of an 18-inch 6.5 Creedmoor, which loses about 200 feet per second from a 24-inch barrel. So it lost quite a bit. Once I get my 16-inch barrel installed, I'll do a video on that. John P., you remind me. I ain't guaranteeing anything instant. That gun grease might be good for a grand as they're meant to be. What's up, AK Saber? How you doing? So, yeah. So, John P., it depends. I would not hunt caribou or larger with it. I definitely wouldn't hit black bear because they're a lot tougher than deer. If you're taking headshots on hogs or coyotes, obviously, coyotes, you just use what's most accurate. You don't give a crap about what the bullet does. They can run off and die so that you can save your rabbit population. That's all I care about. But yeah. So enough had a grand, yeah. Interesting. I lose about 300 on average of my 16-inch barrels with 150, so I don't count every bullet of it. This would be a good deer rifle. I just want to know if it's going to expand at 400. What's up, Joshua Grantland? Good evening. John P. Yeah. Gonna be honest with you. Like, if you're losing 300 feet per second in a 16-inch barrel and 308, something's wrong with the powder you're using. Um, like that's not cool. Like, something's wrong um, with the powder, with the rifle setup or something. But like, I lose on my 18-inch barrel 308, I lose 75 feet per second over my buddy's 22-inch barrel M1A. I don't know if you checked out my Barnes TTSX 150 grain video, but we used both the Springfield M1A and the AR-10 I have, and yeah, it's quite a bit interesting, that's for sure. Yeah, so if you're hand loading those, switch over to tack powder. You can get the velocities you want, like, because I'm getting 2890, and I'm not even at max charge yet. Factory loaded Hornady Whitetail. Oh, is it Hornady Whitetail or is it Hornady Precision Hunter? Sounds like you're sizing brass. What cartridge you're working on? 10 mil. CW. 2A channel. Sent me a bunch of bullets, and he was griping and complaining in the comment section. I'm saying griping for in place of another word that I shouldn't say. And I'm like, it made me feel guilty, so I'm going to do that. I'll load up a couple of his rounds. Go with 130 gain and a short barrel, yeah. Is it get almost full case capacity when reloading. No, it's not. A lot of people think that is. Different kinds of powder are going to do different case capacities, and what is important is that you get the right powder in the right thing. So. Yeah. Yeah, John, if you're using factory barns, you're right. If you're hand loading it, that thing can be jacked up and not even over the max charge. So a lot of things to think about there. Luminous Dave Otis is good on everything. Basically, any of the one-piece rods are pretty good. So the Hornady Whitetail 150s, I'm getting right at 2550. Should be 28. So I'll say I would love to have the Barnes 130s. I just don't get the teeth yet. Yeah. Have you tried the 125 grain Nosler Accubon? Like 16-inch barrel, to send it faster, you use a lighter barrel. There's a 125 grain Accubon. That's what I do. All right, Josh Grantland. Got that PWS UXR, but definitely going to do a review on it. Tons of potential. Still lots of flaws. Cool. Yeah. Let me know when that's posted, Josh. Well, I'll share it out. So. Yeah. Just get an Otis rod. Otis makes rods. They're good. Right. Yeah. Definitely need to get in reloading. I did consider the ABLR as well. Just so expensive. Yep. Thanks for sharing your thoughts, my brother. Again, Merry Christmas to all. God bless you. Yeah. Thanks, John. Yeah. Email me. Got any other questions? I mean, if you buy reloading stuff and you live in Alaska, come on over. I'll help you out. If you don't live in Alaska, sorry. I'm not getting on a plane to come help you out. But I mean, I would if you really wanted me to. But like, yeah, get it set up, all that kind of stuff. It's pretty neat. So, yep. Yeah, the ABLR is, 308, you're really limited to 160 grain. So, the other thing you might consider, John P, is simply putting a 18 or 20-inch barrel in that. That'd be a different number. Thoughts on dry lubes? I've seen them actually freeze up in the snow, or bond to powder too much. So yeah, I'm using ABLR, my 338 Norma Magnum. They shoot pretty good. Cool. Joshua Grantland, I know you've emailed me. We got to go shoot sometime. Yep. Oh, I did order my 50 B&G upper. RDO's changed, so now it might be easier to meet up. Congrats on the 50. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's gonna be fun having some 50 B&G. Let's see if I can do that without getting out of the chat, Scotsman. That's the problem. All right, I'm back. There you go, Scotsman. Thanks to your videos and your channel, some of us hunters in rural Alaska and coastal Texas know to make better decisions on the ammo choice. Where I live, we live to survive on subsistence lifestyle. Thanks, Miller. That is awesome. Thank you for saying all the kind words, and I would love to come out and come hunting with you sometime. So let me know if that's even possible. I am on a tight schedule because I'm a school teacher and all that jazz. So there you go. What is minimum velocity for LRX bullets? Barnes says it's 1,500. I would suspect that it's probably more like 18 or 19, but you can definitely go below 2,000. The ones I was shooting were 139 grain, and at the elevation I was at, they were getting like 3,400 from a 26-inch barrel, 7 mag, and they were supposed to be getting 3,150 or something like that. And this was factory ammo, so they were flying at elevation. So there is that. So best barrel length for a 308 AR-10, 18-inch. I mean, it depends on what you're doing with it. Farm Bore 907. But I'm always posting stuff from Ballistic Advantage and Aero Precision over on my MeWe page and my stuff like that. But you can always get some good deals. But yeah, I'm going to tell you that's what that is. So. Yeah, I would say best barrel length is definitely 18 inches, I think. 20-inch, 24 if you really want velocity, 22, that kind of thing. But yeah, I would go 18-inch. If it's a purely like, so powerful preps, Merry Christmas. If it's a purely home defense gun, I'd go 13.7 and build an SBR. But if it's a hunting, if you're going to hunt with it too, also it depends on where and what you're hunting. Yeah. Scotsman, I sent you a link. Have you tried 7mm 168 LRX or CS? I have not. My rifle likes the 145s the best. They are the most consistent shooting at around 3/4 of an inch. ELDX is definitely more accurate, but just doesn't perform there. So that's that. What's up, M. Gabriel? I've seen them bond with the powder free luminous Dave, so be careful. I live on an island, St. Lawrence Island, village of Fogno. We have reindeer on the island. I would have you on a hunt sometime. I would have you on a hunt sometimes. What's up, Crazy Scotsman? How you doing?
I'm all right, man. How are you?
Good. I do not have any video on you, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's only gonna let me do it on the phone, so it's kind of weird. I don't really have a way to set it up right now.
That's all good. That's okay. I mean, you're kind of like me. You're not that pretty anyway. So,
No, I'm not. I'm an ugly bastard. So
yeah, well, that makes two of us. So,
that's why I have a beard to hide the ugly.
yeah, me too. So, got enough gray in it. I was wearing a Santa hat the other day, and the kids were like, "You're actually Santa." I'm like, "That's right. I've been making a list, kids." So,
Yep. Yeah, mine's getting pretty white. Mine skipped gray. It went to white.
there you go. Just need to live in North Pole, Alaska. You're gonna be mad at me. I bought a Glock.
Oh, you got another Glock.
That's right. I bought me a Gen 5 G20.
It's the same freaking thing as a Gen 2 or Gen 3 or whatever. It's the same damn freaking thing, dude.
Yeah, I know. I know. Little minor changes, but I got rid of my G4 or my Gen 4. I didn't like it, so it was very particular of my hand loads too. So, what's up, Brutal Bob? Joshua Granlund says, "Ooh, I would love to have you on a reindeer hunt sometimes." Miller, I would love to be there. Can you do it in August? Can I fly out there? Can you do it in early August there? Is that possible? Would you run an LPVO or a red dot on a 4570? I'd run a red dot for bear protection. If that's what it's for, I'd run a red dot. High quality, long lasting battery red dot. People make fun of them because they're not the most expensive brand, but the Sealy Optics brand, I have a red dot right here actually from them. It has been on for 2 years since they've sent it to me, and that dot has not changed. I had this on a 4570. I took it off to put it on something else, or no, I needed the base for something else that they sent me, and I haven't put it back on anything yet. So
Yeah,
I also
there's a bunch of different red dot companies out there that are on the cheaper side, and they're honestly not bad. They're really not bad for what they are.
no, they're not. So Scott, Sasson, what do you do with your brass to get the oil and stuff out of it, like or the grease and the sizing wax or whatever? Yes, it is possible in August. Okay.
I basically for prepping my brass, I'll clean it. We'll deep prime it, then I'll clean it. And then as far as running it through the press, I just give it a hit with a small hit, not a big one, with the homemade case lube. Mix it all up and then run from there. And I don't worry about taking it off because unless you're putting a ton of it on there, you're not going to have any issues.
Yeah. I just noticed like what I do with the Imperial sizing wax is I just dip my hand way down into the box of brass and spread it all over. And whenever it gets a little bit sluggish on the press, I'll put some on the inside of one casing. So it's like every 15 or 20 or 30 casings, depending on how well it is,
Yeah.
And that seems to work really fine for me. That's what Ray at Moss Pawn Shop in Georgia, who's sometimes on IV88's channel, that's what he was telling me to do with it a long time ago because I used to work with him at a shop nearby there. So
Yeah, if you're doing it specifically rifle and using that kind of case lube, that's a little bit different.
yeah,
I would say you're in the right realm. Usually about every 15 to 20.
yeah. And what I have noticed though, if there's enough wax in there, your powder will stick to the inside of your neck. It doesn't really matter. The bullet will shove it down, right? Um, but I like to clean out the inside of my neck a little bit of the casing there. I'm doing 10 millimeter tonight. So, have you played with the new Ruger?
On pistol, I don't get too concerned about making sure there's not too much in there. It's more so on rifle is where
Yeah.
I'll pay a little bit more attention to what's going on there. as far as pistol, unless you're absolutely coating the crap out of it, you really shouldn't have anything to worry about.
Yeah. About every 15 or 20.
I've run probably. I'm gonna say I probably ran close to 20,000 rounds off that Dillon, and I've never had an issue.
Cool. I'm sitting here with single stage press still. What's up, Christopher Ramson? Nothing.
Yeah, I bought that Dillon about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's, yeah, you don't need that, just that, the other. It's like, well, I don't know. I think I might do because I go through a decent amount of rounds, and it paid for itself within 6 months.
Cool.
It literally paid for itself within 6 months. That's how much at the time that I was shooting. It literally paid for itself within 6 months.
Yeah. That's a lot of shooting. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna say have a good night. Let's see. We got some questions here. Let's see. Farmer Boy 907. We got that one. Yes, it is possible in August. Pretty sure the only thing that changes between Gen 4 and a Gen 5 is making it harder to run a clock switch. No, they put front serrations on the Gen 5 after people complained, and there's no more front grips on it, or front finger grooves on it. And the barrel is supposedly a little bit better. It is actually a little bit better. But yeah, I'm still going to replace it with a KKM barrel at some point soon. So, when I do my barrel length test, I wanted something else. But when I do my barrel length test, it's nice to have Glock 29, Glock 20, Glock 40, and then I can put in the CMEG Banshee. I can put in the 9-inch barrel for the Glock 40. I can put in the I can put in borrowing Chooks right now, the new Ruger 10 millimeter. So that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, this is one thing that always cracks me up about Glock owners. They're the greatest things to sliced bread, but I'm going to put a new barrel in, and I'm going to put this in, and I'm going to change this out. I'm going to change that out.
Yeah, well, I don't call them the greatest thing since sliced bread. That's not me.
I know you don't. I'm just saying it in general. In general.
Yeah,
It just
know.
cracks me up.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'd probably put a better chamber support in just about any 10 millimeter out there. That's commercially available, just because of the amount of pressure that's in this round, and factory loads not being crimped right and all that kind of stuff. That's what was blowing 10 millimeters up, not just Glocks, but other 10 millimeters as well. So Glock just got the worst of it.
Well, that's one of the big things. So that's one of the big things I don't like about Glock, for example, is the unsupported chamber.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
A lot of people like it because it'll feed almost anything. But the problem with that is, especially if you're a hand loader, is now you could potentially feed something in there that has way too much pressure, and you don't know it because it feeds in perfectly just fine, and boom.
Yep. Oh yeah, you're not going to get any argument from me on that one. That's why I got to order some KKM barrels that I need for that reason. But yeah, I'm not. I was actually looking for like a T-Sauce 1911, and they had one there for $449. Went back to get it, it wasn't there, or they marked the same one up to like $700. I was like, what the? I'm like, nope. So
What caliber?
10 mil. So
I saw one the other day for like $399.
that's pretty good.
Yeah. I'll have to see if it's still there. If it's still there, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I've already spent my money. I'm done, man. So I've spent a lot of money recently that I was saving up for stuff. I've got a 50 BMG upper on the way. So I've got I just got the Holosun night vision. So and then I just
Yeah,
gotta.
don't forget, man. If you're looking for a gun and you can't find something, let me know, man. I'll look around.
Yeah,
I,
I
I
appreciate
still
it.
I still got I still got my ways of doing it.
Cool.
I'm I'm great at spending other people's money.
Yeah, I know, right? Same thing here. Yeah. You heard anything about that Frankfurt Arsenal press? Anything good or bad? The X10 or whatever. It's about $1,200 on normal pricing.
So I've seen some things on it when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the name of the YouTuber who it was, but he did a series on it. He had a lot of issues right off the bat.
Right.
And then they replaced some parts, did this, did that, and it was running better. But to me, I like the idea behind it because you're able to do multiple calibers on the one press itself, kind of
Right.
like doing it with the Lyman All American 8, which is essentially a single stage but in the turret form. So you're able to put two calibers on one press on the one head. Same deal with that, but in a progressive form. So I like the idea behind it, but there are a lot of issues with it.
So changing the heads out is better. What you're saying? Or
I,
the base plates or
I would say if you have the money to spend, just go ahead and buy a Dillon and just go with Dillon and just change out the heads. Doing a changeover on a Dillon is not that bad. You're roughly 10, 15 minutes tops. You switched over and you're done.
yeah, that's nice.
You got to change out the head. Depending on the caliber, you may change out the powder bar, change out the priming, the part of the priming system. There's a few things here and there, but there's not a lot to it. You can be done fairly quickly.
Yeah. I'm just sitting here looking at 6,000 pieces of 5.56 brass going, I really don't want to do this with a
The
single
one
stage.
thing with the one thing with going to any kind of new press, especially like a progressive press or whatever, and you want to do multiple calibers, is make sure you're getting the lock rings that you can actually tighten it down with the set nut, so that you're once it's set, it's done. That's it. You don't have to mess with it anymore.
Right.
The only time you got to change it is if you change the bullet type.
Right.
RCBS has those lock rings for sale for. I think you can get them $8 or $9 for one of them. I think it was something like that.
Right.
I bought a bunch of them last year to get set up on a whole bunch of other calibers I've been doing.
Right.
But yeah, there's options out there. Hornady's a little bit more expensive. I think Hornady's like $13 a piece.
Hey, look at this piece of brass. This one. See that
Look at
smiley
that
face?
smile on. I can see the smiley face on that thing a mile away.
Yeah, and you're more than you're almost the whole continent away. Yeah, and that's why you check brass at every stage of reloading.
Yep,
You know.
absolutely.
Yep. That's if there's anything on that brass that gives you the heebie-jeebies, better safe than sorry. You know.
Yep, it's super easy to replace and just move on.
That's right. So.
Yeah, I've still got brass from C-Max from years and years ago, and I've got a lot of rounds through a lot of that brass, and you got to check it every time. I've had some pop up, and they got a little crack here, a little crack there.
Oh yeah, and
That's all
that's
it
part of
takes.
that unsupported chamber in Glock 10mm too. But I will say this: I see it worse in the CMMG Banshee than I do in the Glock, the Glock case bulge, or whatever you want to call it. I see it worse in the Banshee than I do in the Glock. In fact, I was shooting some Liberty Civil Defense. Every one of them was not reloadable. Brand new ammo, once fired cases, nickel cases. Every single one.
You don't have a bulge buster?
What is the bulge buster?
So you run it through the die and it takes out the bulge.
In general, if the bulge is small, yeah. A full length sizing die does it, but I don't.
No. There's a specific die for that.
Cool. Those were both so bad I would not reload them personally. I said, anything about the case that gives you the heebie-jeebies? Well, those gave me the heebie-jeebies. So.
Yep. No, I'm right there with you, man. I don't mess with a lot of that stuff. I have the bulge buster for 9mm. Just because a lot of times some of the brass I get is thrown through a Glock, and if I can get rid of it, I'll get rid of it.
Glock's not the only one that has bad chambers. In 10mm, the FN 510 has there are people in my comment section telling me that its chamber support is worse than Glock. So I don't know if you've shot one or not. I didn't like it. I didn't think it was that. It looks cool.
The only FN I've shot was the 45. And the only thing I can say on the FN is I hate the triggers. The triggers are absolutely freaking horrible.
Yeah, that's for sure. Like, you are not going to get an argument from me. I didn't like the grip texture on the 10mm. Yeah, if I'm buying $1,000 gun, I want that trigger to be, pretty nice, pretty decent. You get a better trigger on a SAR 9.
So like for me, I think a Sig has a pretty springy trigger.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the FN is just 10 times worse.
Yeah.
There's no actual feel of what's going on with it. Then it breaks and it's just kind of mushy. I did not have a good time with that 45.
And was that the FNX double action, or was that the FN 545? The single.
Yeah, that was the FNX double action. Yep.
Yeah. The only one I've shot was in 460 Whelen. I didn't really have a problem. I was probably more concentrated on controlling the recoil than it was the actual trigger, sight picture, and all that kind of stuff. But that's the only one I've shot was in 460 Whelen, which is pretty fun. All right, let's get to some comments here since we've had a. Do you get to run an AK in 5.5 but 5.4 5x39? How do they perform? I have not. Farm Boy 907. What's up, Christopher Abernathy? Yes, I am attending SHOT Show this year. I like the Tingfolio Witness in 10mm. It's actually a pretty good gun. I had one jam in it, though. Do you go over max semi-pressure? Nope, I do not. Weed Eater TKAK. Good evening, Chuck and all. What's up, Weed Eater? Brandon Arctic Ammo is really good at spending my money. Isn't that the truth? Man, Brandon texts me all the time. We got this in stock. Damn it, Brandon. So, Shelton Fishing 365. Just found you got it. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Just found your thing. Can have you halibut fish too. I want a progressive really bad. Me too. Just got a set of Hornady lock rings yesterday. Sounds like a plan. Alaska cut the cord. Just checking in. Howdy, y'all. Yeah, okay. Love my FNX 45. Yeah, they're pretty nice. Let's see. I think the MDX has a good chamber support and lockup. Okay. On the Alaskan shells between 454 Casull, 460 Wesson, 500 Smith & Wesson. Which do you see the most? Probably all about equally on Alaskan shelves. What's up, Teddy Two Guns? Channel member. Appreciate it. So, one of the OG channel members.
I will say, out of those calibers, I've shot the 454, and 454 Casull is a freaking awesome round.
Yes, it is. I've shot all three of those calibers, and I like them all. But I will say that, yeah, I agree with you. The 454 Casull Well, what's nice about the 454 Casull is you don't need that big freaking gun to shoot it. The other ones, you need that big freaking gun to shoot, you know?
Right.
And if I were going to buy one, though, I'd buy the 460 so that you could shoot 3 different kinds of ammo out of it.
Right. Eventually, I plan on getting the Smith & Wesson 460 so I can just 454 Casull. Down the road, though. I forget the name of the thing. I forget the name of the company, but there's that one that makes lever action as well in 454. They're not cheap though.
Rossi makes a 454. I've had one on the channel. My cameraman has one. A good friend of the channel sent me the 480, and we did a 480 versus 454 video. Didn't get a lot of views. I had found extreme penetrators from Underwood loaded up for both of them. So the 480 loves the extreme penetrators, but they were too long for the 454 Casull. So
yeah, there's another company out there.
Bighorn Armory.
I don't remember off the top of my head. I'd have
I
to
thought
go
at one point Henry was making a 454 Casull in their big boy.
Hang on. Let me grab something else real quick and I'll look it up.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what it was. I know what it is.
It's gonna bother you. Yeah.
Bighorn Armory.
Yeah, Bighorn Armory. That makes sense because they also make the 460 and the 500 in a lever action.
Yep.
I would love to get a hold of one of those, but I
Yeah,
kind of like I just can't afford one right now.
Not cheap. They're not cheap by any means, but they make an awesome freaking rifle.
Yep. So. Yeah, they make a pretty good product, that's for sure. First saw them on Hitchcock 45.
Let's see, 450 or 458 SOCOM.
I would go with the 458 SOCOM for a couple of reasons. One, if you're not hand loading for it, which I am not right now, I kept all the brass. If you're not hand loading for it, you're going to find a lot more bear protection type of ammo, extreme penetrators, solid cores, match solid copper points, stuff that you could use for bear protection that's going to penetrate deep and feed fairly reliably. So I went with 454 or 458 SOCOM for that reason. They say that case shape is really hard to get right when you're reloading because the neck is pretty far down on the body. So while I agree that that's probably possible, I have actually seen, and the only reason why I was having jams with the rifle was because of that dang case shape not being right from the factory ammo. So I have to run all of my ammo through a ammo checker now. I have a Lyman full ammo checker that I check all my ammo before I put it in my magazines. And I was trying different. I ended up because this company sent me Pro 2A Tactical, and I was kind of pissed. So, like they sent me, I'm like thinking they sent me a piece of crap, and they didn't. The ammo was kind of crappy. Like I've seen too much ammo just not be that good in 458 SOCOM. And those were Underwood. I mean, it wasn't like it was a bad company. It was just the brass was not sized correctly, and it wouldn't fit in my ammo checking, my Lyman ammo checker. So what's that?
I was gonna say it's one of the big things. Remember, folks, just because it's a factory round doesn't mean it's going to be right.
Yeah. In fact, it's probably more likely to be wrong than a good hand loader. But
they're pumping off thousands upon thousands of rounds a day. And as a hand loader, if you're doing it the way that you're supposed to do it, you're taking the time and checking as you go. So you should technically be doing a better job than a factory ammunition company.
If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, I totally agree.
I've had a few people I've shown how to reload over the years, and running off the progressive, I'll stop every now and then, and I'll start going through and I'll start checking the rounds, and they're like, "What are you doing? You already looked at it. You already inspected it." Well, I'm inspecting it again. I'm making sure every last little step is right. Because
Yep.
if I don't, that one may cost me.
Yep. I was always taught by old timer, weigh every powder charge. So even if I got a progressive, I'd probably let it dump the powder. I would weigh it on my scale, trickle in the right amount or take out some powder or whatever, and then I put it back in the progressive like lineup. You know what I mean? So I know a lot
So
of people.
I will say this with the Dillon, they are extremely reliable as far as dropping consistent weights. The one thing that I've noticed over the years of using it is if it sits for a little bit, because I don't reload every day or every week, maybe once a month or this, that, the other. It just depends on what I'm doing. But is when I go back to start running it, I'll drop 3 or 4 charges in a sacrificial case, dump the powder back in, and then I can just start running.
Right.
And I know that every charge popping out of that after that fact is on point. They're extremely accurate.
Yeah.
And that's another big reason I say go Dillon, because Dillon, as far as running it in that particular sense and in the progressive way, they really have it set up well. There are issues with the press. I'm not gonna lie, there has been issues with it. I addressed some of those when I first got it. I had to change out some springs, change out some detent balls, and
So you're just
changed
like a
out.
Glock owner changing out sights and barrels.
Yeah, I didn't say it was the best thing in the world, dude.
I'm just giving you shit, man.
I never said it was perfection. Glock claims perfection. I've never said perfection.
No, I'm giving you shit, dude.
I know. But once you've made a few changes to it, honestly, it runs good. I still run at a pace to where I'm not spilling powder, because if you do go too fast, you will end up spilling powder just because you're trying to run it too fast.
Right.
They say you can do anywhere up to I think it's like 500 or 600 rounds an hour, maybe a little more.
Right.
I'll probably do around 400 an hour, but that's still pretty dang good.
Yeah, I'm considering I've been at this an hour and I've not even deprimed all my stuff yet. So I know I've been at an hour because the live stream's been an hour and eight minutes. So there's that. So all right, let's get this. I like the versatility of the 460X frame. .452 bullets are plenty for reloading, but when I look at Underwood's sight, for example, they seem more eager to support the 500 over the 460 and the 454. Maybe. So I'm undecided on X-frame choices. True, because our progressive LFL. That's true here. He's not actually that progressive. Warm up for your scale for a while. Yeah, mine has a 3-minute countdown. So there's that. So
I've never heard of that before.
okay, Tommy Versetti, you are getting removed. Dude, hide user on this channel.
Yeah, okay, Tommy. Yeah. Have fun with that, buddy.
Yeah. Just remember, that's not how God designed you, brother.
Yeah, so even if you're running like a turret press or even on a single stage press, just take your time with it and inspect as you go. Pay attention.
Absolutely.
Make sure you. One of the big things I've always told people over the years is make sure you have really, really good lighting, because you need to make sure that every step of the process is correct. You're dropping the powder, you're seeing powder. If you're not seeing powder, you better stop.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's one of the reasons I go a little bit slower on the progressive, is because you may short shuck it just like you short shuck a shotgun, and not get
Right.
all the powder in there. So you really got to pay attention as you're going.
Yep. Man, got some trolls coming in here. That's okay.
Yeah, you got another
They boost
one.
they boost my views, so I don't care. Well, and we're going to.
I got him.
You got him.
I got him. I wasn't sure if I could on the phone, but I got him.
There you go. That's the way to do it. Yeah, I used to get ton of people on these vertical live streams. You get like 50 to 100 people at any given time, and now I don't. So there's one time I did a live stream on a Saturday afternoon, vertical like this, and I got like 10,000 views in a
Wow.
2 hour live stream. And I'm like, that's cool. But I think the algorithm has found me again and decided, hey, we don't like you. So there's that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of been that way with us for foreign domestic for the last like 6 months or so. It's been that way.
Yeah.
We used to get roughly 250 to 300 plus views, which isn't a lot, but for us, it's a decent amount.
Right.
And in the last 6 months, it's been more in the 150 range.
Hey, when you send me the link, send me the YouTube link too, because I can always share it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, send the YouTube link out too. When I like I do when I send you the invites through email. So
Yeah, I can do that.
yeah, cool.
I'm still. I meant to tell you the other day the last time I talked to you. I still got to get your package out, man. I'll get it out to you. It's just I haven't had a chance to get to the post office yet.
I get it. I've been meaning to get this package off for 6 months to this one guy, so totally get
I'll get it out. I'll get it out here after Christmas, man.
Sounds good. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited about my 50B and G upper coming, so long barrel 45 super Tommy gun. That would be interesting. Type F transmission fluid. Big 45 super fan here. Make that cart pack go. Yeah, I love 45 super. In fact, I am probably the only person you know that has shot a wounded grizzly bear in the head with 45 super type F transmission fluid. So my buddy, I wasn't hand loading at the time because I wasn't like in a house yet and married and stuff. My buddy, he hand loaded me some 200 grain hard cast, and in my 6.61 inch lone wolf barrel, they were going 1350 to 1370. I got over 14 once, or twice, so they were going pretty good. And man, that grizzly bear was still reflex breathing. He would go after I shot him through the throat with a 338 Winchester Magnum. They are tough animals. And he would look dead and all of a sudden go, whoa. I'm pretty sure he's dead, and that's just like trapped air in his lungs, you know? I wasn't taking any chances. I shot him in the head with a 45 super until he stopped doing that. So
Yeah, I wouldn't be taking no chances either.
but I'm actually thinking of going back to just regular 45 with that gun because it's a Gen 3 Glock 21 and it's not designed for that. And like whenever I shoot it, it's fine. But if I hand it to anybody else to shoot, gets a little bit they don't have the they get a little bit of, Glocks are bad for lip wristing, right? They're not as bad as like 1911s, but they're bad, right? And if you start throwing all that custom crap that I have on there to make it work, it's even worse. Like, it is what it is. Yeah, it can jam. That's for sure.
And anything can jam, and
right.
and you just brought up limp wristing, and Glock is renowned for limp wristing too, and part of that, and this is another reason that I try to explain to people about Glocks. Glock has one type of grip, and you can argue with the grip because they say they changed the grip and this, that, the other. They really don't change a whole lot on the grip.
No.
It's still a really thin grip, and if you got decent sized mitts, you're gonna have issues with that grip.
Yep. I do not put a lot of stock in the idea that this gun fits my hand better, so I'm going to shoot it better. Because, I shoot my Glock 19 better than I do my Beretta APX by a lot, right? And the Beretta feels so much better in the hand, like, not even funny. And I shoot my Glock 19 and my Smith & Wesson 2.0 about the same as far as accuracy at 10 or 15 yards is concerned, right? They're going to be all touching for the most part, right? And the Smith & Wesson fits way better in my hand than the Glock does. But they shoot about the same as far as accuracy goes for me. And I found that the Beretta doesn't help me with fundamentals because it feels so comfortable. If I put my finger on it, I tend to like slide my finger down the trigger. And so when I pull it, I do this. I'm giving myself a worse fulcrum to drop it down,
Right.
Yeah. So I don't shoot my Beretta as well. I also don't shoot it very often. I don't shoot 9mm very often anymore anyway. So that's that.
See, back when I had the very first Beretta APX, I actually shot that really, really well. But it was, I don't know, we're probably going on close to 8 years ago or so. I decided I wanted to get rid of all my striker fire pistols, and just stick to hammer fire because I just tend to shoot them better. So I ended up getting rid of the APX, but as far as a striker fire pistol goes, that was one of the ones that I shot the best as far as striker pistol goes.
Yeah. And everybody's hands are different. Like, I have not put the APX in somebody's hand who thought it felt bad though. Like,
No, everyone comments about how bad it looks, but if they actually have it in their hand, they don't complain.
yeah. And I don't think they look that bad, but my wife made that same statement about me. Like, they complain about how bad I look until she has me in her hands, So
I've never had an issue with the looks of it either, man. I thought it actually was a decent looking pistol.
yeah. But I mean, then again, you and I have to look at ourselves in the mirror every day, so anything looks better, right?
I don't look in the mirror, man. That's a scary thought.
Yeah, probably.
You got to remember, I wear sunglasses 90% of the time. I black it out. Black it out.
Cool. Somehow the G43X shoots best for me. More power to you, brother. I will say that things like the Palmetto State Dagger, like, it runs really, really well, but it's nowhere near as accurate as my Glock 19, which is saying something because, Glock 19s are known to be the accurate one either. I just happen to shoot my Glock 19 really well.
I've shot 3 or 4 different Glock 19s.
Mm-hmm.
Including the latest one.
Mm-hmm.
I went out and shot with Mozart Mike 3 years ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
And he really wanted me to shoot it. And I couldn't hit the broadside of a bar, man.
Well, that's a you issue, not a Glock, not a Glock issue.
No. Hang on. I'm not finished with my story. So he hands me his Model 29, which is not an old one, it's a newer one. And I grab that and I take out the entire bullseye, all 6 rounds.
Oh, you're
Tell
not talking
me-
about a Glock 29. You're talking about that Smith and Wesson 29.
Tell me that Glock is perfection.
If you can't hit the broadside of a barn with a Glock, it's you though.
No, if I can take out the damn middle of the circle with a freaking 44 Magnum over a damn Glock, yeah, that's not perfection, brother.
No, I'm saying you don't know how to shoot one. It's that simple.
I've never shot one good, never, ever. They suck.
I'm saying that's a
absolutely
you
suck.
issue. You need. I'm saying you need to put more time into trying to learn to shoot one because
No, I
if you
don't.
can't hit, if you can't put them all in the middle with a Glock, then you fucking suck, dude. I'm just telling you.
Dude, I can shoot any other fucking gun, but you put that gun on my hand, I suck at it.
Well, I mean that's a you issue. I mean,
No,
plenty of
that's a
people
Glock
shoot them
issue.
accurately.
That's a
plenty of
Glock
people
issue.
shoot them accurately.
That's a Glock issue, not a me issue.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that, big boy.
Hey, dude, I can shoot all the guns, no problem. I put a Glock in my hand that don't shoot.
Yeah, that's your fault. Type F transmission fluid. His brain is too complex to shoot Glocks well. Needs a 6-barrel setup. Let's see. Hot take. I'm concerned the parts are Turkish. I wouldn't be concerned with that. The Turks make pretty decent stuff most of the time, and half the gun parts you buy are made in Turkey nowadays. So, like, they're not even manufactured here. Like, even big name AR companies, their parts are made in Turkey. Like, I wouldn't be too to that. What's up, Blossy? How you doing, man? I need to hand load your bullets you sent me too.
Yeah, type 1 transmission fluid. I'm more picky, man. I'm an old school Smith and Wesson guy, dude.
I am shooting my 40. I am shooting my 44 Magnum better.
I don't do well with this newfangled Glock BS. You know, it's this plastic fantastic crap. No,
Yeah.
you stick an old school Smith and Wesson revolver in my hand. Yeah, I can blow the target all day long.
Cool. Brutal Bob, you're right. It's his issue, not Glock's. That's correct.
No, it's Glock's issue, man. Glock sucks.
No, you suck. You suck at shooting them.
Glock sucks, man.
How come millions of people
literally.
No, listen to me. How come millions of people can shoot them well and you can't?
Okay, here's part of the issue, and you can argue this all day long if you want, and you probably will, just because.
Probably.
But here's part of the issue is Glock has one of the greatest marketing systems ever. So Glock, when they came out and started doing this, they came out with the Blue program, which, if for folks out there, if you don't know what that is, that's for police, military, and so on and so forth. They started with that. Then what they did was they smartly went ahead and got themselves early Army and got him enrolled to where he was promoting the living crap out of them. And as soon as they got him involved with it, it took off like nothing else's business. And ever since then, Glock has been known as one of the best pistols out there because they're perfection, because so-and-so says so.
It's not because they actually work most of the time and most people can shoot them decently enough to hit the center of a target.
No, because here's the other issue with that too. And I've seen this. I've seen it. I've actually literally seen it in person. We had someone come out here, and you can ask Daniel. Daniel witnessed it. And I know you know Daniel.
Yeah. I
Me
don't.
and Daniel had another YouTuber that came out here, and he brought multiple guns with him and came up to hang out with us. Started shooting his Glocks, and they started malfunctioning. First thing he did was start making excuses. Oh, it's the ammo. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. And
No, it's
then
probably he didn't clean the damn thing.
and then Daniel goes to shoot it. Doesn't fire right for Daniel. Goes, well, you're limp wristing. Dude, he's not fucking limp wristing. It just ain't working.
Yep,
So
that's
then,
one gun out of how many? There was a set of Gen 3s that had bad extractors. So
no. So he had a few with him, and we tried them all, and they all had failures. So I went to go shoot, and I had the same issue as Daniel was having. He's like, you're limp wristing. Like, dude, there's no way in hell I'm limp wristing this freaking gun. None. No way in hell.
yep.
Ain't happening.
And for every one of those that happens, how many hundreds of thousands of Glocks go and run perfectly?
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, would you buy a Taurus?
No, never.
Exactly. So, like, you know, those are known to like malfunction and have bad issues and stuff like that. And despite one person hating them, but you know, I picked up a Taurus at the Taurus event off the Taurus table at IV8888, and that thing was shooting 2.5 feet low for everybody that touched it. Like, okay,
Bob,
like so.
you can say bullshit all you want, brother. The guns just don't shoot well for me, dude. That's all there is to it. Dude, you don't know. I have any idea how many guns I've shot in my time. I've shot a lot, and that's the only damn gun that does not function well for me. Period.
Again, I'd say there's something wrong with the way you shoot it. 100%. Whatever your technique is for holding a handgun just doesn't work with a Glock. Something.
I can shoot any other freaking gun but a damn Glock, dude. How's it my technique if I can shoot any other one but a Glock?
Hey, I don't know. I've never seen you shoot, so I couldn't tell you. But like, you can hand me the Glock, and I can put them all in the center, and I can hand it to you, and you can't put them all in the center. That ain't a Glock issue.
No, that is a Glock issue.
If I can put them all in the center,
if I can literally take any other freaking firearm and put them all in the center, and then you hand me a Glock and I can't put them in the center, yes, that's a Glock issue.
but if millions of people can put it in the center and have shown putting it in the center, and I've stacked them on top of each other.
It's just like Bob's out there. Like Bob's telling me he's never had an issue, never had a failure, whatever, this, that, the other. Dude, I've seen so many people with Glocks over the years say this, that, the other, say they've never had a failure, and they've had tons of failures, and they make excuses for the failures.
Oh yeah, I've had Glocks fail. Like I'm not a big. I'm not going to say they run forever. Most of them run really, really well. Sometimes, you know, there are issues with certain generations or certain ammo or whatever the case may be. Or most of my failures because I don't clean the damn things. You know, I just don't. I don't think I've cleaned a gun in 6 months, man.
The guy that came out here is big on Glocks. He's been shooting them for years. This, that, the other. He came out here, and again, myself, Daniel, both had issues with him. He had issues with it, and all he did right off the rip was make excuses, and then try to say we were shooting it wrong when we're not doing it wrong.
Again, you're bringing up one instance, one time. That's representative of everything, and it's not.
I'm not saying it's representative of everything. I'm just making a point of people bring up this and say this, that, the other, and then they start making excuses.
Yeah, well, I mean, it sounds like you're making excuses because you can't shoot a Glock. That's what it sounds like to me.
No, I'm making a point if I can't shoot a fucking Glock.
Yeah, you can't shoot a fucking Glock. That's the point.
Yeah, because they
Chuck, this is
suck.
why you don't have any friends.
Because they suck.
No, I mean, if I can pick up a Glock and put any round in the middle, okay?
If I can literally shoot any other
how come
gun,
you can't? If you
if I
can
can
shoot so
literally
many
shoot,
guns so well, how come you couldn't pick up my Glock and put rounds in the middle?
if I can literally
Yeah,
shoot any other freaking gun,
but
fuck
why?
that.
Why? Because so many
I don't
people
like
shoot
it.
them right in the middle. So many people shoot them right in the middle. Why can't you do it?
Because the gun's a piece of shit, man. I told you.
Okay, well, I don't shoot a Model 19 Smith & Wesson real well. That's a piece of shit then, too. I can pick up a
Okay.
Glock and shoot it right in the middle, but Model 19 Smith 38 Special, man, that's an absolute piece of shit. Might as well file off the front sight. Might as well file off the front sight and use it for toilet paper.
If it doesn't fit you well and you don't shoot it well, hey, that's whatever, man.
Cool.
I
Then
can take
that's what
that.
you should say. That's what you should say about Glocks.
I can take your Smith and Wesson Model 19 that you don't shoot well, and I can put them all in the center.
Cool. And I can take the Glock you don't shoot well and put them all in the center.
We're not arguing, man. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you too. It's like, you hate on this gun because you've had what 3 or 4 bad experiences with them, maybe 10.
Oh,
right?
I had way more than that. Way more.
But yeah, but you keep going back to the same instance, and it's like,
I'm explaining the one instance because the person that was here was trying to constantly push it on other factors when the fact of it was the actual firearm and not the factors that he was trying to push.
All right, let's read some things here. I was department's firearm training officer. I trained over 3,000 people on Glocks. I repeat, it's your issue. Shooter error. I've got a Glock 17 Gen 4, and the only issue I've had was ammo-related issue. Tried multiple different brands. All worked fine except for the one. So I don't shoot that brand. There you go. Well, if you don't like a Glock, then don't carry one, but you don't, which is okay. I've got thousands of rounds through my Glocks with no issues. I've been carrying one on duty and off duty for years. Never lets me down. So
No, and again, I've said it many times. If it works for you, fantastic. Have at it, man. I'm not knocking people for shooting it or carrying it. I'm not.
Yeah.
It just don't work. It just don't work for me.
And I want to get down to why they don't work for you. Because how come they work for so many people and so many people can put them right in the middle?
Oh, there you go. Type F, transmission fluids right on the money. Glock market and creates delusion. Yep.
Weed eaters. I'm about to need to make more product. Hey, Scotsman is a great guy and he will do anything for you. So we're just having a little friendly discussion here. Listen.
No, and part of it is, and I've said this before, and I said it earlier in the chat a little bit ago too, is I never have shot striker fired pistols well. I don't. Period. I just don't.
So what other striker?
I'm a hammer fire guy. That's why I stick to revolvers for the most part. Or if I do have semi-autos, which I do have some, they are all double action. They're not single action. They're not any of this. They're not striker fire. They're all hammer guns.
So what other striker fire guns did you not shoot well, since you just said you don't shoot striker fires well?
So I've had a couple of the cheaper models. I've had a Canic or Janik, if you want to pronounce it properly, it'd be Janik.
Yeah.
I shot that decently, better than I shot the Glock.
Oh yeah, they shoot better than the Glock for me too, and they do not fit my hand at all. Like I'd have to. I haven't tried it with the different grips on it, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I had different grips on it, but it shot okay for me. Wasn't fantastic. And then I've also put together my own, and and I put a lot of money into it and put quality parts in it. And even then, it still doesn't. It's just not for me. I just don't do striker fire pistols well, man.
Right. So, like your APX, did you shoot that pretty well?
That was the only one that I shot really well. I could nail everything with that thing.
Yeah, and for me, it's the one I don't shoot as well. Which I did get it after they made it cheaper and like went down to that.
Right. Mine. When I had mine was one of the first ones that ever came out.
Yeah.
When they announced that thing, I think I bought mine like 2 or 3 weeks after they announced it.
Yeah. I've had a jam or two, but I mean, I was also shooting in 7 degrees and laser brass and all that kind of stuff. Like sometimes there's no rhyme or reason to why a gun jams, sometimes it's just like you limp wristed it one time, or it could be, ammo related. It could be like me, you don't clean your guns. It could be like me, you're shooting in 7 degrees, there's a lot of reasons why a gun can jam, Um,
Right.
and I think like that Beretta APX, once I got through about 500 or 600 rounds, that thing hasn't jammed yet, So I think it required a little bit of a break-in period, which I hate. I don't think guns should require a break-in period. I think it's poorly made if it does, I think it should be able to be cleaned out of the box, clean it, and then run it,
Right. Well, and one of the big things there, and you just said it, is when you get it, clean it before you shoot it. And
Absolutely.
a lot of people don't, and they think it should just run straight out the box. Well, here's the problem, folks. And I've said this many times before over the years. And for those of you that don't know me that are out there and making fun in the chat, that's okay. I can handle it. I've been in the gun world for a long time. I've been in the business for a long time, so I have a good idea of what I'm talking about. But anyway, yeah, if you buy one, they come with factory oil on them. Well, that factory oil probably isn't that great for what you want to be going out and just magically shooting it and hoping it runs right for you.
Yeah.
Probably want to take it home and clean it. And
Yeah. Well,
break
the
it
factory
down.
oil isn't designed to be oil for lubrication or cleaning. It's designed to be oil for preservation, so that
Right.
gun doesn't rust.
And one of the big things that I've said over the years is you don't know how long that thing sat in that box.
Nope.
That thing could have sat there for a year. It could have sat there for 2 years. It could have sat there for 6 months. It could have sat there for 6 years. You don't know. You don't know. And that a lot of times some of the worst manufacturers for oil are Cartridge. They're terrible for absolutely just coating the living piss out of a gun in freaking oil.
Oh, Smith and Wesson. The
Remy?
shield. I had a friend. We went shooting her brand new 9mm shield. We literally went from Cabela's where she bought it to the range, and I'm like, "You're not going to clean it before you shoot it?" And I had some cleaning supplies in my car. That grease in there got so dirty. She's like, "It's jamming." I'm like, "Yeah, because you didn't clean it before you shoot it." I went to the car, got my cleaning supplies, came back out. All I did was spray oil and wipe all the grease off. I didn't even give it a good brushing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that thing cleaned. That thing shot really well. And then Chook from Chook's Outdoor Adventures, he's like, "Oh, you don't have to clean Glocks. You just..." So he got the Glock 20 Gen 5 jammed like crazy on him. Of course, he's a bad shot and a uh, flagrant limp wrister. But anyway, I go out to review the gun, bring all sorts of different kinds of high pressured ammo with me and all kinds of stuff too. And we clean the gun before I shoot it, and it runs fine. It runs perfectly okay. And
Right.
yeah, I'm like
you said like you said a minute ago, it's a preservative.
Yeah, it's a preservative.
It's designed to be there on the firearm to make sure it doesn't rust because they don't know how long it's going to sit in that box, how long it's going to sit in that plastic. It could be it could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. They don't know. It's designed as a preservative, so it's not designed to help the gun run. You have to take it home, break it down, clean it before you shoot it.
Absolutely, yes. That's something we agree on. I don't care what kind of gun it is. Shoot, I do that with a 22 bolt action, you know?
No, I don't care what gun it is. I said it. I said it from the day one when I got into guns. I've been in this industry for going on almost 12 years. Number one thing, go home and clean it. Please go home and clean it.
Absolutely, yes. Like you said, you've been in gun industry 12 years. My dad taught me that when I was 12 years old. So there's that, right? Like you clean a gun before you ever shoot it. For the same reason, the packing oils are not there to keep it running. They're there to keep it from rusting.
Okay, let me address a comment real quick. So we got Russ Dennis up there. Glock is the number one handgun sold in the world. 90% of all law enforcement agencies use this Glock. If Glock sucked, then we'd have got some issues. Okay, so yes, you're right. 90% do. You know why they do? Because they get this massive ass discount on purpose. It was part of the marketing plan when Glock originated. They came to the country and they've done this across the world in all countries of this huge marketing plan where they get this massive discount. And that's how you have all these law enforcement agencies that have that. They were bought and paid for.
Well, Sig did the same thing, and the pistol wouldn't run for the Army. You know, they had to make a lot of changes to get that thing run. They gave the Army a massive discount on that, and they ended up probably losing money per unit on the M17, M18 project.
Yeah.
Now
Oh
that
yeah, they did.
success.
As a prime example, when all this happened, and Beretta was fighting back for the contract, I don't know how many people know this, but I actually used to work for Beretta. I worked for Beretta for a little while. And they were fighting for the contract while I was there. And basically, one of the head guys was like, "We're going to lose it because they're going to undercut it so much."
Yep.
And that's exactly what happened. They undercut it so much that they lost the contract.
And then they didn't make the guns right because they were so cheap. Yep. Sig, that is.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the best pistol in that contest was the Beretta M9A3. Let's be honest. So
It's a fantastic pistol. I got one as soon as they came out. I actually worked on them. I worked on a bunch of the slides and the barrels, and even the frames while I was there. But they're a fantastic pistol. I got mine probably within the first 3 or 4 months after they came out, and they shoot great. Never had an issue with mine.
and that's why you inspect every piece of brass.
There's another one. Yep.
Yeah, it looked fine going in. I don't know what I did to it.
It probably just got caught somewhere.
Yep.
You gotta remember, as you're going up in the press, if you're off even just a hair, it can make a difference.
Oh yeah, can. That's for sure. And I got a bunch of these Blazer brass cases, and they're small pistol primer, 10 millimeter. Not sure how I feel about that. But I got a ton of them here. Probably at least 3 or 4 boxes worth are in this big box of brass that I have from shooting. You ever reloaded anything that's supposed to have a large pistol primer, but has a small pistol primer, or large rifle, small rifle, whatever? 'Cause I know I got a 6.5 Creedmoor casings, a bunch of them that are small rifle, which is actually an advantage when large rifle primers are hard to get these days. So,
Yeah, I got some rifle that are the same way, and then I also have some 45, it's the same way.
Yeah, I've had some 45 as well. And it's just like, what do you do with this?
So 90% of the 45 brass I have came from C-Max years ago. And you remember C-Max.
Yeah.
But when he passed and I went out there and to help his wife and go through stuff and stuff,
Mhm.
she basically gave me close to probably 80% of all his brass and this, that, the other when I was there. And a ton of it was 45. Well, he'd already given me all his 44 when I met him a year or two prior.
Right.
But yeah, the 45 is a mixed bag of tricks. So there's some small and there's some large in there.
Yep. Should I put? I don't think it's enough powder to justify putting a small pistol magnum in the 10 millimeter with these small pistols. What do you think?
Yeah, see, that's another one that comes up a lot too. It is, should we use Magnum primers or just regular primers? And honestly, I've never had an issue just using regular primers.
Me neither.
Even in 44 Magnum loads, 357 Magnum loads, I've never had an issue just using regular primer.
A lot of people say because it doesn't burn as much in the casing, it builds up more pressure, and then they get better velocities because of that. It doesn't build up enough to overpressure it, but because it doesn't burn as much in the casing right away, the pressure builds up to get that bullet out. I don't know if that's true or not. Sounds like a hogwash to me, but that's why a lot of the match people, when they get 6.5 Creedmoor brass, get small rifle primers specifically. They say they get a better burn. And they put small rifle Magnum in it or small rifle. I actually put Magnum primers in anything rifle wise that gets over 50 grains. So if it's over 50 grains of powder, it gets a Magnum primer.
Right,
That would be
and I would agree with that. If you're starting to get up in that higher range, I would agree with that.
the exception being 308 with a 130 grain bullet, because that does get up pretty high at towards 50 grains of I think it's 50.9 grains of tack is the max in the manual. I could be wrong. I'd have to look at the Barnes manual again. But yeah, I don't put it in 308 Winchester. One time I did put it in 7mm Winchester. It's what I had, and primers were scarce, and so I put some large rifle Magnum primers in some 7mm 08 with 150 grain and a max charge, and everything was fine. No pressure signs, nothing. I've been saying this, and I don't have the slow-mo video to do it, but somebody needs to do a video, and maybe we can figure out a way for you and I to do it. I don't know. But take like a 10mm cartridge or a 45 or whatever, and just put the primer in. No powder, nothing. Size it, put the primer in. You have a gun there of some kind, and the gun is in a fixed rest, and you have one of the boards behind it that's got every inch that's black and white, every inch, so you can tell, and just see how far out in slow motion the primer alone gets. And that way you could literally tell how much more powerful a primer is than another primer. Because they say 15%, and then there's that video on there where the guy loaded 9mm with small rifle, and he was just fine too. And I'm like, he said it's more about the fit of the primer than it is the actual power of the primer. I'm sitting here going, I don't think I'd recommend that to people,
Yeah, and in general, especially in my experience with reloading, it's always been said that if you go to a Magnum primer, reduce it about 10%.
I've always said go down at least 0.5 grains.
Right.
Like,
and I probably have to agree with that and just say, always caution on the side of, error on the side of caution.
Absolutely.
You don't want to blow anything up. You don't want to get stupid with it. Um, we do this mostly for fun, but a lot of us do it for hunting reasons as well. We do it to obviously be able to protect ourselves if we need to protect ourselves, but you
Yep.
can't protect yourself if you blow something up. So don't be stupid with it.
There is no greater feeling than taking a game animal with rounds that you've created to be so accurate and so good, and you take a game animal with those rounds. There's no greater feeling than that, you know? And
And I still have not got there yet. I can say that I've shot 1,000 yards accurately, but I still have not got a game animal yet.
with like, do you hunt a lot or?
So last year I didn't get out to hunt. Daniel had a lot of family issues going on last year. This year, obviously, I've been dealing with a lot of back problems.
You and me both.
And some other issues there. So I haven't got out this year. So the last 2 years, no, I've not gotten out. Previous years, it was only the couple of years prior that I actually got permission to hunt on Daniel's property because that all comes from his wife. And she finally gave me permission to hunt.
Yeah.
So the 2 years before that, yeah, I hunted those both years, but just never got anything that I could shoot.
Yeah, I'd invite you to hunt up here, but you got to get that back taken care of first.
Yeah, I mean, you've invited me before, and I'd love to come up there, man. I really would.
You'll
And
be
my back's
surprised when I'm
getting
carrying a Smith & Wesson instead of a Glock 10 millimeter on my chest, though.
my back's getting better. It's just going to be a slow process.
Yeah, trust me, I know.
A lot of it is nerve issues. So
Yep, trust me, I know.
it's just fighting through that. I'm working different shift. I'm working a little bit less as far as some of the manual stuff I got to do as far as my job goes right now. So I'm trying to do what I can to help it, obviously, and then the physical therapy on top of that. So it's just a little bit by a little bit,
Yep.
but slowly but surely we're going in the right direction.
Yeah, that's what they say.
But yeah, no, I'd love to get up there, man. We've talked about this for what, at least probably the last 4 years or so, maybe longer.
Longer than that. I've been hanging out with you on YouTube for 7 or 8 years.
Right. Yeah, it's been a while. So yeah, we can probably make it happen this coming year, man. It might
Well,
take a little bit. It might take a little bit of work and all that, but we can probably make it happen.
well, here's the issue. Like, I have a place where we can go hunt off a 4-wheeler. Don't get me wrong, but I only got one 4-wheeler, so I don't really want you holding on to the back of me, on the 4-wheeler. 4-wheeler. It's
Well,
a public
I'm not.
land area. It's a public land area. It's where I got my moose right here. I don't know if you can see that, but like that's where I got my moose, right? And
Well,
that
just remember, I'm not Jen is gay, so.
that's true. That's an inside joke to most of the people in this chat, but yeah. Yes, John, my shirt is inside out, and there's a reason for that because I didn't change it, and I don't want the shirt to be shown on YouTube. So, yeah, that's true.
All right. So
Uh,
you were talking about the 4-wheeler. What else is the issue?
like, well, I mean, what species do you want to hunt? That determines on what we do, because they're all different techniques, all different locations in Alaska. Like,
Well, I mean that's going to come down to when I can get there and what you think at the time. So,
all right.
um,
Well, I mean, no, like when, yeah, like hunting season is August and September. After that, it's either too cold or the hunts are closed, or both. And like hunting season is August, September, unless you hunt bears, which case um, it's April through June essentially for bears. So, and there's some places like behind my house we can kill a bear all summer, a black bear, but and I've seen them up there. But the issue is, they're eating salmon all summer and they smell like crazy, and the meat is turned because they eat salmon. But the other issue is I don't like them coming through the neighborhood to eat dogs and kids and stuff like that either. So it's like, do you take one just to, fill your tag, and then you can't take the meat with you, and you have to take legally the black bear, you have to take the meat. So
well,
brown
I
bear, you
would
do
say,
not.
based off of what you're saying, I'd probably say let's shoot for August.
All right. Well, my August hunt currently, unless the other guy that was in the chat earlier says differently, my current August hunt is a non-motorized. There's no four-wheeler involved. You got to hike out 5 miles from the oil pipeline, because you can't be near or 5 miles from the road, which the oil pipeline runs along. You can't shoot towards that direction anyway, without being 5 miles away. So you have to hike out 5 miles across tundra. And the way you get your meat out is to carry a pack raft. And so your pack raft is another 10 pounds plus the ore, plus the life vest, which you pretty much want to have. The good news is the life vest makes a decent pillow. You can like, you don't have to carry a camp pillow with you. But this is all backpacking, and it's not easy. I'll tell you that much. It's all straight
I
uphill.
I don't know if I'm going to be in shape for that.
Yeah, I was in shape for it, but then my back started acting up. We drove all the way up there, me and a friend, and
Uh,
my back gave out.
that's what I'm talking about. I don't know if my
Yeah,
back will be in good to go then or not at that point. We'll see. When it gets closer, I'll let you know.
yeah. Well, I would invite you to moose hunt with me where I moose hunted last year and saw some good bulls, but you've already missed the draw dates. So, like, I didn't know you'd be that interested in it this year. So you missed the draw dates, and you know, if he gets the permit, Bullets for Bucks is coming up with me again. So
Yeah. Well, we can let's maybe set that up for the following year, man.
yeah, we can do that. The other thing is you might want to there is a place where we could pack raft in to get caribou, but then we'd have to drag our pack rafts full of caribou meat upstream for the most part to get out. Um, uh, so it's either going to suck going in or suck going out, right? I'd rather suck going in and have a nice time going out. You know what I mean? So, because the float is a
I'm
nice float. It's about a 15-mile float out because of the way the road and stuff goes. And then you got to get a hitchhike to your truck. But yeah, the first week of August is usually the best place to go, best time to go, you know?
and what you can pretty much use anything up there, right?
As far as the rifle is concerned, yeah. I would say the bigger you can bring, the better, not because a smaller caliber won't do it. I mean, heck, I killed that moose with the 6.5 by 284 right up there. But, you know, we had a muskox walk within 30 yards of our tent, there are plenty of bear sign up there. And hunting up there, I say up there because it's a 2-day drive north from my house. 2 days, like legit. Like you'll drive all of one day, and then you'll drive most of the next day before you start walking into the brush there, or the country, like you can't even call it woods because there's no trees. Yeah. And at night it'll be 30, 40 degrees and you'll be freezing. But in the middle of the day it'll be 75, 80 degrees and you just want to huddle down. Like, yeah. Some good stories from that trip. The not last this past year, but the trip before that. Some really
Right.
good stories. Yeah. But do that.
Well, I mean, I'm all for it, man. It's just I gotta watch because again, I'm getting better, but it's just day by day.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah. I'm just reading better for colder weather hunting with ball powders too, especially where I grew up. Most extruded powders don't need the Magnum primers in the 06 size round or smaller. There you go. Max charge if you need it more. Can you diesel the barrel with type hits? I'm not sure what he's talking about there. John, I have used Magnum large primers, pistol primers, and primers for Scarif and rifle cartridges that SAMI pressures don't exceed 40 to 45 psi, like in 30-30 or 35 Remington. That's interesting. Mr. James Bloggington, thoughts on Underwood's 158 grain Keith 38 plus P load. Wonder if them in a 38 snub nose would make a good lightweight fast ditch back up to one's 10 millimeter big bore revolver, long gun, etc. I don't know about that. Like, I first of all, I've met a person who claimed he killed a bear with the 38 special, and it literally the bear attacked him while he was riding his ATV, and he had that 38 special in his pocket, and the bear was literally right beside him, and he just pointed the 38 special at the bear and put it one round right through his temple, and the bear collapsed. You know, I met somebody who claimed he did that. So yeah, I guess it could be a good last ditch effort. I would much rather have a 357 mag or another 10 millimeter, or like when I go bear hunting or go out in the woods here, even in the wintertime, because there's so many moose out. Moose are way more dangerous than bears are. Uh, if I go out, I'm having a long gun. I'm having my 44 mag 629 on my chest. You're proud of me, aren't you, Scotsman? I don't carry a Glock on my chest anymore.
I am. I was just about to say I'm so freaking proud of you right there because I was gonna say my
And then I have a Glock
minimum
29 on my hip, so in 10 millimeter for my backup.
bare minimum would be a 357, but you want a 44 all day long.
Yeah, yeah, and the bare minimum, like that's why so many people use 10 millimeter because it's like the max 357 Magnum load. Yeah, is more powerful than the max 10 millimeter load, but they're relatively the same, and you get 16 shots. And if keep your gun clean and you can shoot it well, and it doesn't really your gun's reliable. Yeah, that's why so many people are using 10 millimeters today, because they shoot 9 millimeter most of the time, and they can shoot their 9 millimeters well, which means in a situation they can probably shoot a 10 millimeter better than they can a revolver. For most people, you're not most people, Scotsman. I'm just gonna
No,
say that right now.
I'm an oddball, man, and I've said it for many years. I'm an oddball. I can literally take anyone's revolver, go out and shoot it accurately.
Oh yeah, I've gotten better with my revolver. That's why I carry it now. I don't carry my 357 Magnum anymore, hardly. There's just no point to it. Like, it's like, first of all, it can't be a backup gun because it's a 6-inch barrel, so it's going to be a hard hip draw in a quick situation. Obviously, if you trained, you'd be better at it, right?
Right.
And then, like, I don't really shoot it anymore because Ruger did me up well. Have you seen my Ruger GP 100?
I think so.
So, I mean, I had it on the channel and it wasn't chronographing anything. It's a 6-inch barrel. I got it used from this local shop for a decent deal. It wasn't a great deal. It wasn't terrible, right? And I call Ruger up and go, "Hey, it's a 6-inch barrel. Everything I'm chronographing is 150 to 250 short of what the box says it should be, right?" And I'm thinking they should test in 6-inch barrels. Come to find out, Hornady and Underwood do not. They test in 8-inch barrels. Bastards. Anyway, so I sent it back to Ruger, and Ruger said they'd fix everything for me. They just want to see it on the channel. I go, hey, while it's there, let me know how much it costs to Cerakote it the same color as the Ruger Wrangler Bronze. And so that's what he did. And then they shipped it back to me and didn't charge me a dang thing. And I have the world's only Ruger GP100 that is in Ruger Wrangler Bronze.
Nice.
Yeah. I told them they needed to do a limited run because every time somebody comments on it on video, it's like, y'all really need to do a limited run. But the problem was they had to change out all the hammers for highly polished hammers. And so my trigger is way better. My hammer spring is way better. My cylinder advancement is way better. So everything is just way better on the gun than it used to be. So that's also nice, right? And then, like, it is what it is, but like, it just is, it took that gun that was going to be a channel gun that was the bluing was worn off and turned it into a family heirloom, you know? So
Right.
that's always helpful, you know? So I like that.
No, and
And
in my experience, Ruger's always been one of the better ones.
yeah,
As far as sending stuff back, Ruger and Henry are probably my top two.
yeah, and everybody's had to, I don't care what manufacturer it is, everybody's had an issue and it's had to go back. Like,
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
Yeah.
as far as customer service and get it back to you quickly, Ruger and Henry are definitely my top two. They are definitely on top as far as getting it back to you as fast as possible and it being right when they send it back.
Yeah, definitely. I will say Smith & Wesson did a good job getting me my MMP 2.0 back, which you told me and convinced me to get over a Glock, and then that thing didn't run. So just gonna give you shit about that.
Hey, that you know, I shot the M&P and I was not impressed one bit either. Again, it's just I'm kind of biased, and I hate saying I'm biased, but I'm biased because I prefer a good old hammer, man. I don't like striker fire pistols. I just don't.
Yeah. I tell you what though, my phone is about to completely die here. So like I prefer the double action SIGs to the new Striker Fire SIGs. 100%, like not even close. And I like the FNX over the other FNs, you know. So there are a lot of hammer fire guns I would much prefer. Hey man, my phone is gonna die, and I want to bust out these next man. So we're gonna go ahead and go. Thanks everybody for watching. Like I am at 1%. So everybody have a good night. If we didn't get to your stuff, I apologize. John and Armed and Dangerous. Yeah, it's good to see y'all here. Armed and Indigenous. My bad. Armed and Indigenous. Yeah. So there you go.
Yep, good seeing everyone. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all giving me shit for about Glock, because you know, whatever.
Yeah. Well, you deserve it. You can't shoot one.
Oh
All
no,
right,
I'm used to it. I accept it. It's all good.
All right, brother. Anything you